Hello, my name is Adrian Ratcliffe and I come from Stafford in the United Kingdom, and I'm sitting in the Lurie Clinic in Almaty, Kazakhstan, where I've recently undergone some really helpful treatment to encourage the cleansing of my brain, which has been struggling over the last few years. I've been asked to tell my story, so here we are. My story began in Scotland. I love Scotland, and I've been visiting there almost every year over the last 25 years because I love the hill walking and the fishing for the wild brown trout. I never knew anything about ticks. I never knew anything about Lyme disease. But from what I've read recently, it is clear that there's every chance that I've been exposed to tick bites in that time. I first noticed some symptoms in 1998 after a particularly good visit to the Scottish Highlands. Some weeks after I got back, I noticed an unusual rash on my arm, which wouldn't go away. I also suffered from some terrible headaches, crushing headaches in the night, accompanied by hot sweats that I just didn't understand. After that, I became increasingly tired, irritable, massive mood swings, and outbursts of anger, which I found deeply disturbing for myself and those around me. In the coming months, things changed a little bit more. I found myself becoming more anxious, more distressed, more depressed. I couldn't cope with learning new things. I couldn't think clearly. And because I was doing a very high-pressure job with lots of meetings, lots of travel, I found it increasingly difficult to do that job, which in itself added more and more stress to the problem. So, what to do? I went to my doctor, my general practitioner, explained how things were, explained that I'd visited Scotland, explained that I may have been exposed to ticks and tick bites, but she wasn't particularly interested. She said, no bullseye rash, therefore no Lyme disease. You must be overworking, go away and rest. So I went away and rested. But things got steadily worse until in 2015 I was so tired and so dysfunctional that I decided to go for a private blood test for Lyme disease, which came back positive. At that point my GP showed a little more interest and sent me for a test on the NHS, which also came back positive, but indicated that the Lyme infection was very old. So she said, I'm really sorry, but there's nothing we can do for you. Off you go. What to do? Now, interestingly, my wife Marina and I had visited Scotland again in 2008 and both had a massive number of tick attachments and bites. And after that time, Marina too became very ill. Her symptoms were more physical rather than mine, which are neurological, and so serious that she ended up in critical care in hospital after a heart attack. Now this is serious, so there's something that needed to be done. So, after a lot of searching on the internet, we found a clinic in the UK that treated Lyme disease, so off we went. It was an interesting but difficult treatment plan. I found it particularly difficult because over 9 months my symptoms became worse rather than better. So after that, the reason for that is probably, given the knowledge we have now, that as the medication killed the Lyme bacteria, a lot of toxins were released into the bloodstream and into the brain, and we weren't taking appropriate detoxification measures to remove that toxins from the brain. So we looked further afield, and again the internet provided all the clues, and we found the world leading expert in the treatment of Lyme disease in Washington DC, a magnificent man by the name of Dr. Joseph Jensen. So in October 2016 we travelled to Washington to meet him and his team. their approach was very different. They listened to our story, they examined us very carefully, and then they structured a treatment program based purely on our symptoms and the infections that they knew we had. Totally personalised. My own neurological problems were treated first by medication to calm down my overexcited limbic system, which made me tense and aggressive at times. They also tried to address problems with sleep. And only once that had been completed did they start to treat the disease itself with pulsed antibiotic therapy, backed up by detoxification and excellent supplements to boost the autoimmune system, which had been very badly depleted because of maybe up to 20 years of the illness. Marina the same, positive steps, positive results. And over the last 33 months, we've both made significant improvements. Our strength has gained, our mental clarity is better, and we're making good progress. However, Dr. Jensen is still not totally optimistic that either of us will make a full recovery because we've had the disease for so long. Next step of the story. In the autumn of 2018, Marina made a trip to her spiritual home in Nepal. And whilst in Kathmandu, purely by chance, she made contact with an amazing couple, Dr. Aman Lure and his wife Marina. They discussed Marina's exhaustion and her problems, and just as if by magic, Dr. Lure had been working on an innovative new treatment to help brain disorders, to help fix worn-out brains. So Marina, over the coming weeks, tried 4 of Dr. Lure's treatments with remarkable effect. And when she returned to the UK, only 5 weeks after I had left her, she was a different woman, completely transformed. She was bright, cheerful, physically stronger, mentally much, much stronger. And that improvement continued over the coming months. Now, of course, given my neurological problems, Marina was very keen that I had the same opportunity. Now, of course, being a nervous Brit, I was a little concerned about an innovative new treatment. But watching Marina's improvement over the coming months persuaded me that I had an opportunity that I couldn't miss. So here we are, in Almaty, in the Lure Clinic. I've been here 3 weeks, and in that time, I have had 5 of the rebrain therapy treatments. And progress has been good. After each treatment, I've been incredibly tired, but I'm told that is normal. But after the treatment, I find that my mood is lifted, my anxieties are dissipated, and I feel much calmer, much more ready to face the world. For the first time in my life that I can remember, certainly for many, many years, I find that I'm happy, genuinely happy, allowing myself to enjoy life for the first time. Now again, following Marina's example and following Dr. Lure's advice, I'm confident that these improvements will be not only sustained, but increase over the months ahead. Now that's a fantastic news, because it will allow me to approach my job once more with confidence and optimism that my life will be more valuable in the months and years to come. It's been an adventure. I feel blessed to have met some wonderful people who've helped me to recover and regain my zest for life. My last message to anyone who's suffering so badly is never give up. There are people out there to help you, and I would encourage anyone who suffers from exhaustion, stress, any kinds of neurological problems to consider a trip to the Lure Clinic in Almaty Kazakhstan. It's a wonderful place, a wonderful city. Please come.